Hey, Dominic Santoro here, aka the Average Joe Day, or the Everyday Joe, however you want to put it. We have Mr. Brian Sweeney with us here at the St. Patrick's Day Parade here in North Myrtle Beach, and Brian is running for House Senate 106. Morning. You ran for this office once before, right?
2 years ago. Yep.
And you lost by 1%.
274 votes.
274
Yes,
votes.
and there were some Democrats who voted in the Republican primary. More than some, but go ahead.
And this is why we got the button made up, vote or just quit your beaching, which he actually came up with, which is great. What was the platform you ran on 2 years ago?
Pretty much the same platform I'm running on now. This Horry County has been run by the same good old boy Myrtle Beach area Chamber of Commerce cabal for decades.
Right.
And they get plus or minus $50 million a year in tax money, some of which they use.
How much?
Plus or minus $50 million. Sometimes up to 54, sometimes a little bit less, depending upon how the tourist season goes.
All right. And so now you're running basically pretty much on the same platform. What changes do you want to implement?
Oh Lord, where do I begin? And some of the stuff is much more recent. Like for example, the House and the Senate passed by overwhelming majority a bill that's referred to colloquially as the Care Zar bill, which in effect splits DHEC into component parts of the environmental stuff over here and the health stuff over here, and they're going to put a Care Zar appointed by the governor in charge of the healthcare piece of it, and that's going to have 5 directors reporting into this healthcare.
So you're going to have 5 units reporting to one person.
Yes, and the interesting thing about this is that the recommendation to hire Boston Consulting Group for this was made by the current head of DHEC, who is the guy that has made such a mess of it, and the Boston Consulting Group is, by their own website and run admission, and they keep patting themselves on the back, they are partnered with the World Economic Forum. And WHO. So,
who's the World Health Organization?
World Health Organization, yeah, not who's on first.
Although it may seem like that at times.
For those of you of a certain age. And it's absolutely ridiculous. The whole thing was engineered, choreographed, whatever you want to call it.
So this is pretty much, this you say was pretty much planned to happen.
Yes, and not only that, but as bad as this whole Care Zar thing is, it's going to cost plus or minus $60 million to split the two entities apart.
So now basically there was
your tax dollars, folks.
There was a rumor going around that people didn't know there's a 200-something page document and almost an 800-page document. And people are saying, well, you have to pass it to know what's in it.
That's Nancy.
Well, this is what now they're saying in South Carolina.
Sorry.
I mean,
I've been through it, and it is a Care Zar. It is another Dr. Fauci, and the people are outraged about it. But the fix was in from the get-go, just like for Scout Motors, by the way.
Yeah, with Volkswagen, right?
Volkswagen. Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. What does House 106, what district is that? What does it represent?
That's the Horry County part of Myrtle's Inlet, and then you've got Garden City, Surfside, Deerfield, and you've got Glens Bay. So, and little parts of Myrtle Beach too. You go up to Jetport 1, which is a precinct up there.
Okay.
So it's part of Myrtle Beach.
So how many people you say would live in that district?
Live? Well,
or eligible to vote.
Eligible voters, 36,000. That's both Republicans and Democrats.
That's both Republicans and Democrats.
Yeah.
Now, if you're elected, you're going to be having to go. Now, you live locally, obviously. You live in Horry County, and you live
Myrtle's Inlet.
Inlet. Now, you win. You're going to move to Columbia. You're going to stay here and just commute.
No, I'm staying here. I'm not moving to Columbia. But the folks that are currently here don't move to Columbia. I mean, they go there
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever.
Yeah,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
They don't move there.
Now, the question that's popped up when you said again back to the Care Zar and everything. He basically has the same power to shut down a restaurant if it's not clean, if it's got in violation of something, it's everything like that. What particular powers did this person have, or does he get?
According to the text, what you've got there is a situation where the sheriffs and the law enforcement folks in the state have to obey commands from this director Now, the health emergency would be declared by the governor.
Okay. And now Henry McMaster is in favor of this.
As far as we can tell, yes. And if it gets to him unadulterated, he will probably sign it.
Now, this is a man who kept the state open. He closed it, but he didn't close it for months like New York, Connecticut, California, Florida. They didn't close it for months. He closed it for a couple of weeks, and he reopened the state. But now this health czar can tell him, no, you can't open the state back up. Everything needs to stay closed.
Well, the health czar could do a lot of things, but the problem is the health czar is tied into Boston Consulting Group, which is tied into World Economic Forum, which is tied into WHO, which is tied into Klaus Schwab.
So basically, the people of South Carolina have no vote or say in anything. They have a vote. Let me rephrase that. They have a vote. They can vote for this man, but they have no say in what's now going to happen with their businesses.
Well, in the sense they had to say in that the people that they put into the legislature overwhelmingly voted in favor of this. The fix was in. Now, there were the South Carolina Freedom Caucus did not vote for it, and I fully endorse the South Carolina Freedom Caucus. But
yeah, and they get blasted on the news a lot, especially from WNBF and WPD, the ABC station. Yeah. They get blasted that
unjustifiably.
The small minority of the South Carolina Freedom Caucus, and they make it sound like it's like 4 people.
Well, it's not, but they also refer to them as the ultra right wing part of the party, and they're not ultra right wing at all. I mean, they're exactly where a lot of us were 30 years ago, 20 years ago, as everyone else has moved to the left. They're pretty much the same place they always were.
How do you plan on changing it?
I will, if I get elected, I will join the South Carolina Freedom Caucus. There's no question in my mind about that. But you know, something else that is another current issue is the judicial system, which in South Carolina is just a disgrace.
Go into detail on that, on how people become judges. And
the judges are appointed by the legislature, but the judges that the legislature gets to appoint are nominated by a panel called the JMSC, Judicial Merit Selection Committee, which is controlled by Senator Luke Rankin and is dominated by lawyer legislators who will, at some point in time, probably argue a case in front of the judges that they just put into power and can, 4 years later, take out of power if.
So basically, it's not what you know till you know?
Very much so, yeah. So they now have a proposal to change that, and it isn't a change at all. They just gave the governor 4 votes, and he can put 4 people on the. But it's going to be the same committee in the legislature, and Luke Rankin is still there, and there's still no ban against lawyer legislators being participants in the process.
Explain the conflict of interest, something like that. Because people will say, why? What's that got to do with it? There's a conflict of interest, correct?
So give me that again.
There's a conflict of interest if you're an attorney and you get appointed judge and you go in front of certain judges, you have the right to request.
Oh, sure.
That's the conflict of interest.
That's the conflict of interest. You put the judge in, and my opponent, Val Gaust, is on the Judiciary Committee in the House, and the Judiciary Committee is the committees that determine who gets elected, who gets nominated to be voted in by the entire legislature. So the whole thing is who you know.
Yeah.
So
do you feel like you're fighting an uphill battle?
I'm swimming upstream. I'm up against Myrtle Beach Area Chamber of Commerce money. I'm not pleading poverty, but I don't have that kind of coin. So anybody who wants to contribute, donate, please do.
If they want to donate, where can they go to donate?
Sweeney, SC as in South Carolina, HD as in House District 106. Sweeney, SC, HD106.com.
Well, if you're tired of same old, and you want to change, vote or quit your beaching. And remember, primary
June 11th
is June 11th. So get out and vote in the primary. Vote for this man, Brian Sweeney, if you want to have a change. If you're at the status quo, I'm going to tell you personally, you're crazy. But this is the. Go ahead, get one more.
Well, in Horry County, Election day is not the most important day. Primary day is.
Yes. Explain that before we let go.
Because Horry County is so theoretically Republican that no Democrat gets elected to anything. So you have to have a Republican an R after your name. And it's the Republican primary that determines who goes into the election in November. And if you win the Republican primary, you're tantamount to having been elected because of the dominance of Republicans over Democrats in Horry County.
Again, June 11th, that's primary day, and that's more important than election day in November. If you want change, this is the man to do it. Brian, thank you very much.
Sir.
No, thanks for giving us the time. We appreciate it, and hopefully good luck to you, and we'll see you before one more interview before the primary in June.
Yep, great, thank you.
We'll be right back.
You could be whatever you wanna be. So I told myself I'ma be a singer, I'ma play on the keys.
Hey, back here at the Regular Joe. It's the Average Joe, aka Dominic Santor, or the other way around, however you want to look at it. Here with James and Rick.
Yep.
They own the
Clow Center.
and they're going to tell us how long they've been in business and what items they got.
Yeah, we've been here around for 28 years in this spot, North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Main Street. Come on down. I got men's clothing, women's clothing, shoes, back stuff, knee stuff. We got shoes that'll fix problems called the Telex, orthopedic walking shoes that really work. Made by doctors and sold in doctors' offices.
How long you been in Myrtle Beach?
I've been here 8 years.
What do you think of the parade today?
That's great.
Does it help your business out?
Yeah.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
does.
See, everything here not scripted, as you could see. So it does help the business out with the parade and everything?
It does. With all the little food trucks out here and that, yeah.
There'll be thousands of people walking around today having fun.
You guys got a website?
Yeah,
Yeah.
theclowcenter.com.
Come here and see these two guys. If you're in North Myrtle Beach, come give them a look. We'll take a little video showing you what they got in stock. The place is perfect. See you guys later.
Thank you.
Dominic Santoro here, a.k.a. The Average Joe, here with Eric Washington for Cane Mixers at the North Myrtle Beach Parade. Eric, explain a little bit about the Cane Mixers and what they do when flavors that come in.
So we handcraft some delicious, non-alcoholic, family-friendly mixers.
Non-alcoholic, family-friendly. We're at the parade, family-friendly.
So these are handcrafted with fresh-pressed juices, locally sourced ingredients, and they are used for at-home cocktails and mocktails, to be specific.
Okay, so let's say we have the blood orange. I
Yes,
don't know
sir.
which one's blood orange.
Yes.
What would go good with the blood orange?
So blood orange works fabulously with a little sparkling wine. Prosecco or champagne will change your life the way you enjoy a mimosa. Spirits, vodka and gin are partners that work very well with that as well. So we give you the canvas, you kind of create your own experience with the mixers themselves.
So basically, these 4 mixers could be used with anything you want. Now, you said something to me before we went on, freezing it
Yes,
and using it on a rocks glass.
absolutely.
With what?
So I tell you what, whiskey. I was gonna say we're in the South Carolina. Our bourbon drinkers, our rye whiskey drinkers, love this in an ice mold form. That's your flavored ice cube. You can use this in your glass. I was gonna say they're also great as ice cubes that you freeze for frozen beverages when it gets warm outside and you want a ice drink.
And this will freeze because it's non-alcoholic.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
If you have a chance, check out this man's website. What's the website?
So www.canecollective.com.
You got an Instagram account as well.
So we do. Look under Cane Collective SC. So that's our South Carolina location.
I'm telling you, you people have no idea what you're missing. Alone on ice, this is great. But mix it with your favorite alcoholic beverage to make, this is fantastic. Eric, thanks, man.
Hey, pleasure.
Nice
Thank
meeting you, buddy.
Nice meeting you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.